this guy is one of the greatest competitors I've ever seen. I think what I saw was will compete and just tenacity. He wasn't going to be denied, and clearly he didn't have his best stuff, but he was going to get through 5 innings, find a way to give us a chance to win a ball game, and I just, when you think you can't have more respect for a player, he goes out and does something like this. And so I just learned that he's second on the list in wins and all-time Dodger wins, and it's just pretty remarkable. And a player, a pitcher's not always going to have their best stuff, but show grit to find a way to get the job done. That's not easy.
When you think about just coming into the series, you had mentioned, especially with these first 2 games and who they had pitching, it was going to be a dogfight. How did you see your offense really find ways to really attack them last night?
I really did think it was going to be a dogfight. I got a lot of respect for Merrill and Zach, and they've both had great years, and we just really, team offense, we just really took great at bats. We grinded. We won a lot of big counts, won a lot of big at-bats. Tonight we got fortunate with a lot of, you can call it luck as far as some soft contact hits, but putting the ball in play, you get those. And so just across the board situation, we were good, and our bullpen's in a good spot. We'll start Ryan Pepio tomorrow. But yeah, just offensively, we've been fantastic.
Skipper, what is it about your club? The deeper you get into the season, the better your club plays.
I think it's about. I think we do a really good job, Jim, of using our roster. There's many times where we get Freddie and Mookie off their feet to get other guys in there, and if there's a lefty in there, we get some other guys in there, and so I think he just keeps guys fresh, sharp, involved, and we're just fortunate that we've got the depth of a roster. We feel like we don't lose much, we change the pieces in and out.
So you still obviously been working through some stuff, but how much of that is like rust from the layoff, and how much of that is also like 2 innings the last 13 days or so?
I think that's part of it. Certainly if you look at his last few starts, especially the last one, it's not ideal. He's not going to make any excuses for that, but I do think that there's the rust component to it.
Doc, when you look at his numbers now, 209 wins, as you mentioned, 2,927 strikeouts, when I asked what it means to him, he said it means I'm not getting it this year. Do you think he's going to be back next year to get to 3,000 strikeouts?
That's obviously a question, for him and Ellen. But my gut says he will be back. I think that he's done everything that a pitcher can do. But I do think that 3,000 strikeouts is something that might be on his radar a little bit. We'll see.
Mookie's talked about still adjusting to his new offensive profile. The fact that he has a career high home runs before September sort of show that obviously this is kind of who he's been now.
Yeah, it is. I think that we talked about that last year a little bit as far as more slug. But I don't think it's necessarily he's trying to hit home runs. I think it's just understanding that he's looking to do some damage with pitches in the strike zone, and he looks over balls so well. And now with the flight of the baseball, it's going out of the ballpark. So he's kind of transitioning into a different profile type player, but he still has the dynamic ability to steal a base and play on the dirt and score from first base and things like that. But the slug it's pretty remarkable how it's gone.
Dave, when you know the caliber of pitcher you're going to face in the playoffs, and you don't really know the caliber of pitcher you're going to face between now and then, just wins against guys like Kelly and Gallen need a little bit more, especially the way you've done it the last 2 years.
I think so. I think so. You typically, we talk about as hitters, you don't make your money on guys like Gallen and Kelly. You know, it's the 4s and 5s. You catch a lead, and then the lower bullpen guys, lower leverage, you sort of make hay on those guys. But with what we did the last couple nights, it's another little validation or confidence for an offense that's had a really good year, because those two are as good as they come.
And then with Clayton, does the fact that his stuff wasn't his best tonight just kind of speak to the way that he can outthink an opponent, and just kind of the natural deceptiveness in his delivery are still enough to carry the day in a game like this?
Yeah, I think that. I think also it's the great ones just have the ability, the knack to make pitches when you need to make a pitch. And you know, when you're not feeling your best, like I said, when there's certain counts, certain situations, you still have that way to make a handful of pitches. And if you look back at the outing, there's a handful of pitches that could have flipped a 5-inning, 1-run outing, which you could argue was one of his better pitches he made, but Carroll took a good swing on it for a homer. But there's a handful of pitches that he made in huge spots.
Don't you think that's the balance of baseball? I mean, we've all seen it, I know I have, pitch terrific games and get into the 7th inning or 8th and not get the win.
That's right.
So tonight,
Yeah, there's just guys that know how to win, and you know, you get to that decision point and they know how to close it out to get a win, and some guys spit the hook.
well, you were going to pitch in 5 no matter what.
Yeah. That's right. Thanks, guys.